In the prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, the story starts in rural Texas in 1955 at the Sawyer household. Verna Sawyer Lily Taylor, the family matriarch, is hosting a birthday party for the youngest family member, Jedediah. As part of his birthday present and initiation into the family's brutal traditions, he is given a chainsaw and pressured to torture a man they claim tried to steal one of their pigs. Disturbed by the act, Jed refuses, and the thief is ultimately killed by Grandpa. A few months later, a young couple, Betty Hartman and Ted Hardesty, are driving through the Sawyers' territory, and they encounter a seemingly injured Jed. Betty follows Jed to an old, rundown barn, where the family kills her. Hours later, Sheriff Hartman Stephen Dorff, Betty's father, arrives to discover her dead. When Verna arrives to defend her sons, Hartman takes Jed into custody as an act of revenge, sending him to a mental asylum for troubled youths. The film jumps ahead to 1965, where Lizzie Vanessa Grass begins her job as a new nurse at the mental health facility. She quickly connects with two patients, Bud and Jackson Sam Strike, who is unexpectedly charming and respectful. That night, Verna arrives with an injunction to free the now teenage Jed, but the facility's director denies her request. Determined, Verna breaks in, sparking a riot that results in the deaths of many nurses and patients. Jackson rescues Lizzie and gets her outside, but they are soon captured by two deranged, oversexed escapees, Ike James Blur and Clarice. As they make their escape, they encounter a blooded Bud, who has just killed the hospital administrator, and decide to bring him along. The group reaches a rest stop diner after changing clothes. Following a confrontation with the waitress, Tammy Nicole Andrews, Ike and Clarice violently kill the patrons, including the fatally wounded Tammy, during the chaos, but is shot, and the group flees. Sheriff Hartman and Deputy Sorrel Finn Jones arrive at the scene and discover that one of the group members is the teenage Jed. Hartman then quickly sets off in pursuit of them. That night, the escapees hide out in an abandoned mobile home. Clarice and Ike engage in a sexual encounter, revealing her scarred body and involving the corpse of the mobile home's owner in their depravity. As everyone sleeps, Lizzie attempts to escape but is stopped. Ike repeatedly insults Bud, who eventually kills him. The next morning, Clarice realizes Ike is missing and goes to look for him. Jackson and Lizzie discover Bud sleeping on Ike's corpse and quickly take him away. Clarice is captured by Hartman. She is hostile, refuses to cooperate, and insults both him and his deceased daughter. In response, Hartman shoots her in the head while the others watch from a distance. Jackson and Bud continue on with Lizzie in tow. When a deputy passes by, Lizzie screams, inadvertently leading to Bud's death. Enraged by Bud's death, Jackson kills the deputy and forces Lizzie to drive them to safety in the police car. While driving, they are chased by a now deranged Hartman, who opens fire on them. The gunfire seemingly kills Jackson and causes Lizzie to swerve off the road. Later that night, Lizzie, handcuffed in a cop car, responds to a dispatch call, alerting another officer, Sorrel, to her location. Sorrel visits Verna and informs her that Hartman has taken her son, Jed, to the old barn where Betty was killed. Verna has Sorrel killed and fed to the pigs before heading to the barn to rescue her son. At the barn, it is revealed that Jackson is alive. Hartman, holding Lizzie hostage, reveals to her own horror that Jackson is actually Jed. Verna arrives and incapacitates Hartman. Back at the Sawyer house, Verna tends to yet significant facial wound, stitching it up and fitting a muzzle to hold his face together. She then guides Jed into a room where his siblings have Lizzie and Hartman restrained. Verna presents Jed with his original chainsaw, and Lizzie watches in horror as Jed uses it to bisect Hartman, killing him. Lizzie manages to escape into the woods, with the Sawyer family hot on her heels. She reaches a main road just as Jed catches up to her, but his chainsaw starts to malfunction. Momentarily hesitating, Lizzie tries to reason with Jed, who eventually gets the chainsaw started and resumes chasing her down the road. Despite her efforts, Lizzie is caught in a bear trap. She appeals to Jed's better nature, having seen glimpses of it, while Verna urges him to kill Lizzie to protect their family. Initially hesitant, Jed begins to soften as Lizzie pleads with him, insisting that he's not a killer. However, when Lizzie insults Verna, calling her crazy, Jed brutally decapitates her. The following morning, Verna is observed burning evidence of the previous night's events, while the older boys feed ground-up remains to the pigs. In the basement, Jed is shown crafting his inaugural mask from Lizzie's face, which he has sewn together to form the iconic Leatherface mask.